Good morning, I am Alessandro Santambrogio and I am the CEO of ACESIS, an advisory firm for marketing and business development for international healthcare providers. I am delighted to have been invited to speak in this Congress, and I thank the organization for giving me this honor and opportunity, and I would also like to thank you all for taking the time to listen to my presentation. I have been asked to talk about the future of medical tourism, and I'm sure that you will all agree that this is a difficult task because in these times looking into the future barely means trying to figure out what will happen next week. I don't want to bother you with figures on how much this market has lost to COVID. I'm sure you know better than I do. I just would like to have an open discussion with you on the situation and share some of the knowledge and experience we have gained over the past few months working with clients, hoping it will provide some insight for you to better assess the future. First of all, let me say I'm quite optimistic, and not just because as an entrepreneur I have to be so. We have gone through many crises in the past years. From the 2001 after the Twin Towers, we have also survived the financial crisis of 2008. We have endured other pandemics, though minors, like SARS. So if we are still standing, I think we have good chances of going through this one too. But what is different, though, of this pandemic is that it impacts a lot of variables, and they're mostly out of our control. Sure, we can control our hospital, the safety measures we implement, and the services we offer, but this is mostly it. We have no control about the situation in our nation, nor on the measures that our governments can impose, and how our country is being perceived abroad. And also, the sheer combination of all these variables is appalling. Our country or part of it could be shut down, or so could be some or all of our sourcing markets. Air travel might be disrupted. Our patients or relatives might be prevented from entering the nation and receive the treatment. And also, things change very swiftly, and we have very little time to adapt. Very little for warning and time to adapt our plans to decisions which might be highly disruptive for our business. So what can we do to this regard? First of all, ensure safety. I'm sure you already comply with all the measures and procedures prescribed in your country, and you mostly overdo that. But you might also think of other sources. For example, TIMOS launched COVID-19 safe certifications to ensure staff and patients, and this kind of activities could also be used in communication. So here we come to the second step, which is communication. So be transparent with patients. Show that you're adopting all measures to protect them and to fulfill their needs. But do not just restrict to what is happening in your hospital. Provide them with information about how the situation is evolving in your country. What are the rules that they should abide when traveling at your place, and possibly help them fulfill them. What kind of outlook is foreseen for traveling, if there could be bans in the short period, or if a lockdown might stuck them in place. Third step is reprotection. So be ready to swiftly change plans for your patients according to the country they are coming, to the type of care they need, and to the consequent risks of travel bans or possible lockdowns. But also think about the total refund of all unfulfilled medical therapies and treatments and services if they are not allowed, or if they choose not to come over fears or if they feel unsafe. In one word, in a context full of uncertainty, you should be able to provide certainty. If you can't say that you are in control, you should at least show that you are in the know. Why this? We have seen that patients' behavior has changed and is still evolving. First of all, they tend to delay the decision to take the treatment owing to the uncertainty of the context and possibly over the future of their economic capacity and status. But this might result in a shorter lead time between the decision to take the treatment and the one to have it performed, once a patient decides he wants to move fast. There are also rising concerns over air travel and in general public transportation, and so they might start to consider destinations which are within driving range. Some are also concerned on the risk of being stranded in a foreign country if travel restrictions apply during their stay. And if you ever thought that investing in reputation and brand awareness was not worth the effort, you might as well reconsider that. We have seen that patients are showing more confidence towards well-known and trusted hospitals. Country status on COVID is also very important. We have seen that countries which have a better situation, like Turkey or South Korea or Greece or Switzerland or the Emirates, are showing recovery signs. Instead, if your operation is in the US or in Spain, France, Brazil or India, you might as well stay put because patients are fleeing from those destinations. But again, one man's disgrace can be another man's opportunity because the destinations of choice for patients vary according to open countries or safest countries, and so you might take this opportunity. So far as the future is concerned, what can you do to try and navigate these rough waters? Monitor. This is the capital activity. Monitor not only your clinic, but also your country to check what kind of restrictions might come in place. Monitor your sourcing markets in order to target your efforts according to the evolution of their situation. But also monitor competing markets to see if you have the opportunity to become the destination of choice for their patients. Second thing is differentiate. The less markets you're active on and the less therapies you perform, the higher the chances you have to be highly affected by even limited closures in your sourcing markets. Look closer. As air travel becomes more difficult and probably in the future also more expensive, people will reshape the way and the travel and the distance they want to travel. Also, look more into your domestic market. As patients are banned or feel unsafe in going abroad, they might look for more domestic alternatives. Save cash. Well, I'm sure you have already done that in those departments which you cannot reconvert to something else. Be transparent. Communicate constantly and adamantly with your staff and patients. Strengthen. If your market is stuck, this is no excuse for not doing anything. Take the opportunity to revise your strategy. Reevaluate your offer in terms of markets, of targets, of treatments. Review your investment strategy in order to take the most out of the opportunities that these changes in markets are bringing. Review your digital tools and presence in order to make the most of it. Prepare new content to be shared when things will look up again. In times of uncertainty, moving swiftly can result in gaining competitive advantage. But you should have a clear strategy and be aware that risks are, of course, higher. Go digital. If patients cannot come to you, you can nevertheless reach out to them. Telemedicine is becoming more and more important, not only for second opinion or for reviewing imagery, diagnostic imagery. The use of wearables providing data, or remote surgery with robotic systems like Da Vinci, or even in theater coaching, which helps gain access to the best experts worldwide without the need of displacing doctors or patients, are changing and reshaping the future of healthcare and medical tourism. This means that there is a need of greater cooperation among hospitals to share knowledge and resources, but this can also help patients gain a greater accessibility to the best in class worldwide. So this is why I'm optimistic. These times pose a great challenge, possibly greater than the ones we experienced before. But the habits they are reshaping and the new technologies which are pushing forward in healthcare, like in everyday life, in all sectors of everyday life, provide great opportunities if we are ready to understand them and are fast enough to take hold of them. So if it is true that there are no easy solutions to solve this crisis, it is also true that there are clear indications of the transformations that the medical tourism should undergo in order to keep on being a precious resource for both patients and hospitals. And we are here to help this transition. So, thank you everybody for listening to my speech, and I wish all of you a Congress full of new ideas to build a successful future. Bye-bye from Alessandro Santambrogio.